Hi, I'm Carla and I have Liz with me in studio. Onyx is also joining us. For today's class, we're working into forward bends. Have your usual yoga equipment and as usual, listen to your body. Make sure that you are not overextending and bending forward in your forward bends. Forward bends are often when people actually injure their backs. So when you're bending forward, don't think about bending forward. You want to think of extending the front body to extend forward. If you do not have a lot of flexibility, you want to have some blankets. You want to definitely have a strap. Also, bricks are useful if you're unable to reach the floor in a forward bend. If you don't have bricks, you can either use one of these very cheap little plastic stools, or if you have a press stool, using one of them also will help you. If you really are very tight, even a chair or two. We're beginning today's class in Vajrasana. If you have no knee or no ankle issues, you're going to take your blanket, opening it out onto the floor, and make sure that there's no weird creases on the blanket. You come in to sit so that you come in to sit so that from the knee to the toes, you're on the blanket. And then keeping the feet together, you want to start to sit back. As you sit back, don't make a bowl of the feet. The outer ankles cut in so that each buttock bone sits on each heel. If sitting in Vajrasana is agonizing for your knees or your ankles, just come to sit in a cross-legged position with a blanket underneath the buttocks so that you are not slumping into the spine. So in this Vajrasana position, feel that you keep the head of the shin on the floor and feel that there's an extension through the front of the shin. You may want to lift the knee forward just to extend that shin skin. Come to the ankles, make sure the outer ankles are in, and you can feel that the heels are upright and each buttock bone is on each heel. Temper the thighs down, abdomen draws back to the spine, and your chest is nice and open. Bring the hands into the prayer position and allow the eyes to close. We begin class just by focusing on the breath. Use the breath as a tool to bring your focus to your body, to bring your awareness to your body on the mat. Start with the 3 Oms, or just take a moment here to be quiet and to make your own dedications for your practice. Exhalation, drop your chin down. Just allow that lovely release across the top shoulders and stretch across the back of the neck. Then releasing the hands onto the lap, lift your head up and open your eyes. We're coming to Adho Mukha Virasana, so you can work with the blanket. You'll just turn your toes under the blanket, but when you take the knees apart, this inner thigh has to cushion the sides of the body. So you take the knees apart only as much as your body width requires. And you're going to come to the full length of your mat so that when you stretch the arms forward, your hands are going to remain on the mat. So toes are touching, knees are wide, extend yourself forward to Adho Mukha Virasana. Keep the buttocks grounded by maintaining this length from the kidney region down the lumbar spine, pinning the buttocks to the heels. And as you extend forward, take the hands shoulder distance apart already in preparation for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. You can let go the back of the neck and rest the forehead on the floor so the chin tucks in a little bit. If you're really having to bow your head down to do this, you might need to take support under the forehead, but we're not holding Adho Mukha Virasana for any length of time. This is a useful pose to you if you are a beginner. Some of the more challenging poses in the program, if you struggle with them and you need a break, come to this Adho Mukha Virasana position. As you press your palm flat into the floor, feel a firmness in the elbow, lift the forearm away from the floor, so palm stays down, especially the index finger and the thumb mount. Lift the forearm away from the floor. And feel, are you scrunching in the top shoulder? Can you coil the triceps towards the face to release that top shoulder pinch? Coming onto all fours, don't move the distance between the hands and the knees. Turn the toes under, feet can go hip distance apart, and you're coming up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana, you want to come back to the hands, connect that index finger and thumb down, spread the palm. And from this pressure of the palm, you are lifting up through the sides of the body, through the waist, moving the root of the thigh up and back. As you press into the palm, then same action of the forearm moving away from the floor, elbows are locked, outer elbow coiled together, triceps coiled towards the face so that that top shoulder is free. Each exhalation, you're bringing the shoulder blades into the body to open the chest, lifting and extending the sides of the body and the spine. Exhale. Forward with the feet to Ardha Uttanasana. So here, all forward with the feet to Ardha Uttanasana. Here, if you're unable to reach the fingertips to the floor, you're going to either take your bricks or, as I showed, one of the benches, a little bench, the short stool is perfect for Ardha Uttanasana if you are a beginner. Ardha is half, so maintain this alignment of the hips over the ankles and here this lift of the thighs up to the groins. It's important that you get the sacrum into the body. So as a beginner, or if you're not very flexible, if the abdomen rolls back and the buttock flesh rolls down and there's this great big hump in the body, you want to start bringing the sacrum into the body. Sacrum in, there's an extension through the back of the legs, an extension through the front body. And this will be work for you. If you can keep the legs straight, if you can keep that extension of the front body, you begin to drop your bricks down onto the floor, or you can take your fingers all the way to the floor if you've got the flexibility to do so. Remember, you're not working into forward bends, you're working into frontal extensions. You want to lengthen the sides of the body, lengthen the front of the body, lengthen the back of the legs. You lengthen the front of the body, you find that extension of the breastbone forward. And yes, the chin comes up to get that, but at some point, just make sure that you're not overlifting the chin so that there's no pinching in the back of the neck. Ardha Uttanasana is only the halfway, so you want to maintain the firmness in your thighs when you're coming up, and that extension of the breastbone to come up strongly with space in the vertebra of the spine. If, however, that catches your back, by all means, bend your knees, roll, do what you need to do to come up safely. Okay. We're coming to Chaturangasana. Chaturangasana is coming onto all fours, basically. Make sure you've got space behind you. So Chatu means four, Anga is a limb, so Chaturangasana, you're coming onto all fours. On this all-four position, your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. You'll see here, Liz has a nice tabletop shape to the back, so the abdomen is drawing back to the spine, and you're not just arching the back and letting everything collapse. Maintaining that extension in the front body, lifting the chest forward, keeping the abdomen and the front thighs back in their place. You're going to lift up the right leg. So first, extend the right leg out behind you, toes to the floor. And if I have to lift the right outer thigh, the hips are going to open up. I want to keep that hip and sacral region level. So rather than rolling onto the inner line of the foot, turn a little bit to the outer edge of the foot. Feel how this inner thigh rolls up. That right hip in front stays pinned towards the floor, and then lift that right thigh parallel to the floor. Once you've got the hips level, so this left outer hip has to lift, the right hip bone in front is facing the floor, control it with your abdomen. Once you've got the sacrum level and that right leg extended, you can turn the foot and just get the toes pointing to the floor, extend through the inner line of that leg. Knee is open, stretch into the heel, breathe. For Virabhadrasana 3, your arms will be out in front of you, so you obviously can't lift both arms. I mean, I guess you can, but lift the left arm now. Arm faces into the midline, like Virabhadrasana 3. Feel that turning of the tricep, that release of the top shoulder. Breathe. Square off the hips, use the abdominal control, and exhale, release the arm and the leg down. Back to Chaturanga. Catch your breath here. When you feel ready, you're going to again, controlling the abdomen, extend the left leg out, turn that left inner thigh up to the ceiling and lift. As you lift the left leg, keep that control of the right outer thigh and hip in place. This left hip bone in front has to turn to face the floor. Keep that abdominal lift to get that length in the lumbar. With the sacrum level, extend into the leg, keep the knee locked, and then extend the right arm up. Try to square off your hips, square off your chest, look slightly ahead of you in front of your mat, breathe. Feel that extension, which is what you want to feel in Virabhadrasana 3. Exhale, release, and come down. At any point that you need to rest, remember you can come to Adho Mukha Virasana. Toes together, knees apart, rest. We are still working a little bit into the shoulders and the arms. So if you are taking a restful position, let your elbows rest on the floor so that the shoulders and the arms can also get a little bit of release, so that when you do Virabhadrasana 3, they've had a chance to at least rest. Coming from Adho Mukha Virasana, we're coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. This downward facing dog, take the feet together, the feet line up with the navel, line up with the nose. So now you've got a much narrower downward dog, so it might be more of a challenge to get the sacrum into the body, but yet the sacrum needs to come into the body, it dives down. If you're super flexible and your front ribs shoot forward, make sure to control the abdomen back to the spine. It's the sacrum that comes in. Press into the hands, get long. When you do the leg raises, often the shoulders will come over the hands. You want to maintain this Adho Mukha Svanasana shape, working with that right inner thigh. Lift your right leg up from the right inner thigh to keep the sacrum level. Keep the left outer hip lifted and strong to keep the sacrum level. Don't worry about how high the leg goes. Worry about that shape of the torso. On an exhalation, release that leg down. Reestablish your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once there's that firmness in the legs, that compactness in the hips, the sacrum is into the body. Now, focusing on lifting from the left inner thigh, you lift up. So the toes, the knees stay facing the floor. The sacrum stays absolutely level. Gosh, you're doing a good job on that. Hips are level. And when you've been there for a few breaths, on an exhalation, take that foot down. Walk your feet towards your hands, coming back to Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, you're either on your fingertips or again, if you're unable to, you can take breaks. Keep the legs straight. Keep lifting the chest forward. Ardha is the halfway. With the feet together here, feel how this is a very different Uttanasana than you did a moment ago. Now, lift up your right leg. Once again, you're focusing on that sacral steadiness, the lift of the left outer hip, right hip bone in front faces the floor, as does the right knee and the right toes. Firm up the legs here. You're not having to balance like you do in Virabhadrasana 3, so the legs can be absolutely straight and strong. Keep extending your breastbone forward. Each time you inhale, reach that back heel back. And when you've had a few moments here, exhale, bring that foot back down. We're going to keep that lift of the right outer hip, using the control from the left inner thigh, lift the left leg up. Get that firmness in the knee, the sacral region is level. Legs are straight and strong, sides of the body, front of the spine are extended. You keep stretching into that extended leg, stretching the breastbone forward. And when you've been there for a few breaths, release that leg down. Once again, taking care of your back. So if you feel that you need to bend your knees, go for it. Otherwise, with strong legs, with that lovely extension in the front body, you come to Tadasana. After a pose in this Tadasana, you can just soften a little bit. So don't be too attentive with your Tadasana here. There's a softness, a release, a quietness, where you're just allowing the blood to come back to normal. And you're working now into Virabhadrasana 3. So the lifting of those legs helps you into Virabhadrasana 3. Virabhadrasana 3 is the warrior pose. We're just going to work on the stability and the strength and the engagement of the legs in Virabhadrasana 3. In the classic pose, you're going to Virabhadrasana 3 from Virabhadrasana 1, but for today, we're going to explore it a little bit differently. So, coming to stand in Tadasana, you can stand sideways. Now, in Tadasana, feet are together, you're going to lift your arms over your head into Urdhva Hastasana. Keeping the arms in line with the ears, keeping the lift of the gaze so that the chest can lift. You want to find your balance on one leg. So like we did on all fours, first point your foot back. Get that levelness in the hips. Then, like the seesaw, don't bring the body down. That's easy to do. Lift the back leg. And as the leg lifts, to ease the back bend, you're going to allow the chest to come forward like Virabhadrasana 3. Okay, you make the leg lift more. And the leg has to bring the body down. This is a balanced pose. You want to find quietness for your gaze, steadiness in your gaze, focus. And as you lift that right leg, lift the left hip. As you lift the right leg, lift the right inner thigh, get the sacrum level. Release whenever you need to. Rest your arms so that your shoulders can have a rest. It's a challenging pose, Virabhadrasana 3, especially when you throw, balance into the mix. So once again, arms over your head, Urdhva Hastasana, as you exhale. That right outer hip stays lifted, sacrum stays level, point the left leg, and when you're balanced and ready, off you go. Don't bring the body down, bring the leg up. Inner thigh up. Don't forget all the things you learned when you are on the floor. So, keeping that sacral region level by lifting that left inner thigh, lifting that right outer hip. Hard to balance because your body topples you over. You've been there for a few breaths. Once you've found your balance and you've held the pose for a few breaths, leading with the chest come up and back to Tadasana, rest your arms. Good. So, as a beginner, normally take support, but we want to challenge the balance every now and then. So to really challenge your balance, standing on a brick gives a different dimension to this pose. And also standing on the brick allows you to kind of feel a little bit of sort of conviction and commitment when you're standing on your foot. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stand next to your brick, the one foot is on the brick, and then you're going to stand on that leg. And then you can come down and then again, stand on that leg. You want to feel that you're able to stand on the leg. You can then take the foot a little bit back. And once again, stand on the leg, step back, stand on the leg. So you're trying to find that just, I know how to stand, so stand. Stand, feel that conviction, feel that steadiness, feel that control, standing on the leg, and then try the other leg. So first, just next to you, and you're just lifting up. Feel the muscles of the outer thigh, the quadricep gripping. Once you've done that for a few tries, step back, and then step forward onto that leg. Find some control. Lift your chest, step onto the leg. Find that control. Find that focus. Lift your gaze. Lift your chest. Find that firmness, that steadiness. And that's what you need for Virabhadrasana 3. So now, right foot, arms over your head, exhale and go. Virabhadrasana number 3. You feel the need to come out of it. Come out of it like a seesaw. So yes, you want to go into it in Virabhadrasana 1, but just to play around with the balance, to play around with getting the pose, come into it from Tadasana. So again, stepping onto that breath, the back leg is going to lead, the back leg has to lift, the standing leg hip has to lift, the sacrum is level. Focus on extension, not just balance. You know how to stand on your leg. You need to come down and release out of it. You release. Good hold with your balance. Yeah, so now let's go into it from Virabhadrasana, from the classical position, right? In the middle of your mat, you want to bring your fingertips to your chest and you either step or jump the feet apart. Make sure you've got space on either side of you. Coming to Virabhadrasana 1 from this spread of the arm position, Vimarsana. So the hips must turn, the chest must turn, the back leg must turn. Hips are squared off, the exact shape we've been working on. Turning the bicep to face up to the ceiling. Take the arms over your head. You can take the palms just shoulder distance apart. Now, as you exhale, think about you're going to bend that right knee and then step forward like you did on the breath. Step forward, come onto that leg, come to Virabhadrasana 3, lift your gaze, extend your chest forward. When you need to come out of it, you bend the right leg and you come to Virabhadrasana 1. So it's a challenging pose. You'll fall out of it many times, and that's fine because every time you fall out of it, you learn. Again, stepping or jumping the feet apart with this wide spread open chest. Turn the hips, turn the feet, turn the chest, extending the arms up. Exhale, bend the front knee. Now, step onto that leg. Step like you did onto the brick with control, with focus, with conviction. When you've been there for a few breaths, don't think about getting back to Virabhadrasana 1. Think about bending that knee with focus and control to come back, and then you release out of it. If you keep falling over and it's just becoming really not much fun because I just keep falling over and this is useless, you're going to measure yourself up so that my fingertips are to the wall. Don't be in this TED shape back. You want to open the armpits, get the chest facing the floor, coming to a 90-degree shape, right? So you measure yourself up there against the wall, feet are together, chest is open, hips are over the ankles, and there's this lovely straight line through the side of the body, through the armpit to the fingertips. Now, don't lose the distance of the feet. Push away the wall. From Tadasana, we're going to step onto the right leg first. So step the left foot back. Nice big step back with the left leg. Hard to step back wide enough for Virabhadrasana 1, but we're not going to hold Virabhadrasana 1 for very long. Extend the arms up, bend the front knee for Virabhadrasana 1, extend forward, step onto that right foot, step onto it. Get to the wall. The wall will help you with balance now. Now, because you got the wall, best you get that sacrum level. Because you got the wall, make that extended leg firm. Stretch the big toe mound away from you. The inner and the outer line of the leg is extended. Abdomen in its place. Lift your chest. Don't hang your head in shame. Triceps coil towards the face so the shoulder is free. Bend the right knee, push away from the wall, and step the don't turn feet, and step the left foot forward. Good job. So now you've still got your measurements. Once you've had a rest, again, you're going to now step the right foot back. So now big step back. Urdhva Hasta, arms up. Exhale, bend, step. Take the support of the wall. With the support of the wall, there's no balance to have to worry about. So really work on that levelness in the sacrum. Feel that extension through the spine, that extension into the inner line of the back leg, extension into the big toe mound. Breathe. And again, don't think about going to V1. Just bend the knee, push yourself off the wall, land in Virabhadrasana 1, and then you step in the feet together. Have a rest. Again, this quiet Shavasana, the shoulders are relaxed. Keep your breath, just trying to find a rhythm to your breath again. Find whether you're holding tension anywhere in the body, let every part of the body completely release here. Okay, so we're going to, as we're working into Uttanasana, if you're a beginner, the following few poses are going to pretty much feel like what we've been doing, especially if you're unable to get into that full forward fold. So coming into the full forward fold in Uttanasana, classically, as a beginner in Uttanasana, take the feet hip distance apart. You can turn towards me like you were, so you'll have a side view from you. You line up the feet, the inner line of the foot is parallel to each other, and you're coming down to your fingertips on the floor. You only take the fingertips on the floor if you can keep this length in the sides of the body, if there's an extension in the front of the body, and if the legs are straight. If you are here and really trying to bend your back to touch the floor, then you're working in the halfway lift, you're working on getting that extension in the front body. To complete Uttanasana, don't think about taking the head to the knees or the hands back. This length that's been created on the side of the body, close the gap between there and the thighs first by bringing the sacrum into the body, and then the hands naturally want to move back. Let go the back of the neck, let the sides of the ribs extend down. The legs are strong and holding you in position. The hands are back in line with the feet. Because the legs are spread, there's space for you to complete the forward bend easily. Keep the breath flowing. Keep working at closing the gap between the thighs and the abdomen. If you can bring that sacrum in, then the legs are absolutely strong. To come up, walk the hands back in line with the shoulders. Find the extension of the body first. And with the legs strong to support you, you're going to come up to Tadasana. In Tadasana, take a moment just to let everything settle again. Now from this pose, we're going to take the feet together for Uttanasana. Again, if you're a beginner, keep the feet in distance apart. The feet together, come to either Uttanasana, the half Uttanasana. In the half Uttanasana, the sacrum comes in first. It's not the head and the chest that dives in. The abdomen has to extend forward. And now, letting go into the full extension, we're coming to Bhuvasana. Bhuvasana is holding your ankles. So wrap your hands around the ankles, take the thumb with the fingers. At first, you can widen the elbows to help pull you down to get more leg in the side of the body here. Then on an exhalation, can you, if you are down and your body is in a full forward fold, can you wrap the elbow towards the back of the knee? Can you hug the outer shin, the outer calf? Can you hug it with your arms? Let the head descend. Firmness in the legs. Bring your hands back underneath the shoulders. When you've been there and release the spine, come up. Tadasana. Good. So forward bends, again, please be careful with your back. They're intense. Don't force it. It's a frontal extension. They should release the back actually. They shouldn't cause back issues. Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana requires that, first of all, it's balance. It also requires that full forward fold, and it requires flexibility in the legs too. So you're doing Ekapada one leg up. So come a little bit away so you don't keep on into the legs. The feet are together. Come to your full Uttanasana. To hold the balance easily, keep your hands on the floor. Now, lift your right leg from the inner thigh. You're trying to keep the hips level for as long as possible. Let the body go down. Don't be afraid to go back so that the leg can come up. And you're splitting the legs apart. You're coming to a full forward bend. You're splitting the legs apart. Trying to let the body descend that down. In the classic pose, there's the grip and the hold of the leg, which requires balance here. Just hold it here with the arms and then bring the leg down. Find that full Uttanasana again. Let the head come down, hands back towards the feet, and then start to lift the leg. Lifting the left leg from the inner thigh, trying to keep the sacrum level. Towards the end, as you need to split the legs apart some more, you will feel that the hips turn a little bit, so that's fine. Keep the length of the sides of the body, the descension of the spine as you lift that leg up. Again, it's that seesaw action. Body has to come down for the leg to lift up. You've been there for a few breaths, release, and bringing your hands under your shoulders. Come to Tadasana, have a rest in Tadasana. So if you want to hold it and you want to work into the forward bend extension, you want to work in splitting the legs, two hands is a little bit more stable. In the classic pose, Gurvasana, you want to close off and hold with the clasp of the legs. So you're going to come, you can still do the halfway. You're going to come forward into your Uttanasana. Taking the right leg up, you want to bring your body down and then wrap the right arm around the left calf. You have to close off that right side of the body to the left leg. You're balancing on the left leg and hand. When you've had enough, release and come down. And again, for Uttanasana, as you lift the left leg up, find that splits, that extension. When you feel balance, right hand, right foot balancing, bring the left hand and wrap it around the calf like Gurvasana. If you're not balanced, then don't do it. If you feel balanced, go for it. Use that hand to bring you into the forward fold. And then releasing the hand, releasing the foot, come back to Tadasana. Okay. If you are tired, you can release into Adho Mukha Virasana. So toes together, knees apart. Yeah, especially because you've been doing a few forward bends, if the quarter back goes splits, just let the back waist release. You can rest the arms a little bit. We'll be coming now to Shirshasana prep. Shirshasana prep is prepping to go into the head balance. And not everybody can do head balance, and that's fine, but everybody can do the prep for head balance. Unless you have a neck or a shoulder injury, unless you have a very, very high blood pressure and even putting your head down makes you feel dizzy or vertigo, then okay, you're not doing Shirshasana. But for everybody else, the Shirshasana prep is great because it helps to develop the awareness of the alignment of your shoulders and also the strength in the upper body for Shirshasana. Interlacing the fingers to the webbing. You want to get that bottom wrist bone down. You should lift your sleeves so that the whole forearm is on the floor, and also the watch shouldn't be there, but nonetheless, we're not going into the full head balance, so it's fine. So now, lift up your knees off the floor. So you turn the toes under, you lift your knees off the floor. You want to make sure that there's space here for the top shoulder. You want to feel that you're pressing the forearms, the outer elbow into the floor. There's releasing the top shoulder by keeping this tricep pointing in so that the elbows don't splay. The forearms are pressing into the floor. Keep your head off the floor. You can also keep your head lifted up if that's more comfortable for you. And then in this Shirshasana prep, pressing into the forearms, you're keeping the interlock of the fingers, you keep pressing into the floor, that is your base. So you're working at that lift of the shoulders, the strength in the arms to where bear the weight of the body. Make sure you know which cross of the fingers you've got. Bend your knees, put them on the floor. Rest your shoulders. It is good, especially when you are beginning your practice, that you want to change the interlock of the fingers. So when you're resting from your Shirshasana prep, you're going to change the interlock of your fingers. And now with the weird interlock of your fingers, place that triangle support of the arms on the floor. Lift the knees up back to Shirshasana prep. Shirshasana prep, there's no weight of the head on the floor. You're working shoulders, you're working upper body strength. Flexibility is important to help you get into your inversion. So if you can walk your feet in, you do, but you have to maintain this lift and alertness of the shoulder blade region. So it's not the shoulder blades lifting up, it's the skin of the shoulders away from the ears, opening the armpits, shoulder blades up into the body. Then if you're strong and you've done a lot of this and your shoulders are working nicely, you can lift one leg at a time. If you're doing working on Ekapada Shirshasana is a pose where you bring one leg down at a time from head balance, but here you can do Ekapada in the Shirshasana prep. When you're lifting up, remembering to roll that inner thigh. The foot on the floor is nice to help grip and lift that opposite hip. You can hold Shirshasana prep and the variation as long as you're able to. Try not to let the elbows splay, so the outer elbow has to tuck in, shoulders, maintain the distance of the shoulders and the elbows in. And then when you're ready to come down, knees to the floor, knees apart, toes together, release. Okay. Right. It is important when you are sitting in Dandasana that you sit on a little bit of support, especially if you are not very flexible. So Dandasana, you're sitting with your feet out in front of you. When you sit in Dandasana, you want the flesh of the buttocks out the way so that you're on the buttock bones. And as with the other forward bends we were doing, it's the sacrum that has to move into the body. So in the forward fold at Adho Mukha Svanasana, the sacrum dives into the body. Here, the sacrum lifts up. You want to be on the buttock bones. So especially if you're slumping and you cannot get onto the buttock bones, then absolutely you have to take support. Dandasana, you can start with the feet hip distance apart. And Urdhva Dandasana is taking your arms up over your head. In this Urdhva Dandasana, press the thighs down and against that, lift the rib cage off the base, off the pelvis. Sacrum is in, breathe. And then exhale, release your arms down, just down at your side is fine, and have a rest. When you lift your arms up, you're going to keep this broadness across the chest when you come forward to Padangusthasana. So Padangusthasana is your big toe. Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, you wrap your index finger and your middle finger through and your thumb grips. Now, don't scrunch the shoulders to the ears and drop the chest. You want to use this hold to lift the breastbone. And as you lift the breastbone, you get that concavity in the back. Get that length in the abdomen. To complete the pose, that length of the abdomen rests, the elbows widen, and you release down. Elbows can stay up, keep the shoulders soft though. So don't lift them too wildly, they just stay away from the floor. Breathe, Lengthen the breastbone further and further towards the feet so that there's more and more length versus bending the back. And then coming to the halfway lift, releasing back to Dandasana. If that was challenging for you, take more height. If that was challenging for you, you're not going to take the feet together, you're going to keep the feet apart. And I should have said, but if you're unable to reach the feet, obviously, that's what the strap is for. So if you're a little bit more adept, feet are together, Urdhva Hastasana, and off you go. Touch the outer edge of the feet now, and then you fold yourself completely forward. So not everybody is the same. Different people have different strengths, different flexibilities. If you're unable to reach your feet, the strap is a wonderful way of working. And if you know your forward bends, if you bend forward easily, then what you might want to do is challenge yourself. You're going to put your bricks to support your feet and now reach your hands to hold your bricks. So that ensures that for people who are very flexible, you're getting more and more length in the sides and the front of the body. It's quite nice holding your bricks, yeah? So the props are sometimes to help us when we can't, but they also need to challenge us when we can. Then up you come. One of the classic releases after forward bends is Purvottanasana. However, Purvottanasana can feel like a little bit of a challenge to most people versus the release that you're expecting. If you're used to doing shoulder balance and you have shoulder balance foams, they're just pieces of foam cut in an A4 size. You're going to take 2 of your shoulder balance foams plus a bolster. If you do not have shoulder balance foams, then you're going to take 2 blankets. Hopefully you have 2 blankets. Once you've got your 2 blankets spread, you want to make a little roll or a fold with this blanket so that you've got a nice decent height. That might almost be too high. And then with that nice little height, you're going to put your bolster on it like a seesaw. So you want to make sure that the bolster's in the middle like a seesaw. If your bolster's covered and then there's this tie, don't have this tie coming to your neck. So you're going to sit where the tie is on the front of the seesaw. You're going to make sure the bolster is aligned. Sit to the front of the seesaw a bit more. Now, I'm going to lie on the bolster, make sure I'm centered. Then, pushing into the feet, push so that your shoulders reach the floor. Turn the palms to face up. Shoulders on the floor, back of the neck is long. You can let go of the feet. This is a restorative, so you don't have to try and get the feet flat. You don't have to dig into the heels. They just be softness. So after all the forward bends, sometimes there's scrunching that happens in the diaphragm. People get cramps in the diaphragm region. Here, because of the support of the bolster, there's a lovely openness in the diaphragm region. You should feel that the flesh of the whole back body has kind of dragged and released down so that there's no catching in the back. The flesh of the buttocks is away, the lumbar spine is long and released. And also with all the forward folds, there's all this closing in at the groins, which in our lives, driving, sitting, people who cycle, it's always this closed groin. Here you're getting a nice open groin that you're getting back bends. So a lovely way to release after forward bends if you don't have the strength and the wrist flexibility for Purvottanasana. This is also, you can say, this is, unless it's catching your back, if it catches your back, you bend your knees. If it catches your back and you want to keep the legs straight, then when you prepare that there's some support underneath the feet so that the feet can be elevated. And once you elevate the feet, you'll feel that it does kind of give a nice release to the back. Shoulder balance is when you are in full Salama Savandasana, when you're in shoulder balance. Here, this gives you a little bit of that Jalandhara Bandha chin lock that you get in shoulder balance. The back of the neck is extended as in shoulder balance. And this kind of Setu Bandha support cross bolsters is a perfectly acceptable alternative to shoulder balance if you're not doing the full inversions at this stage. At any point in time, if you feel your back catching, you absolutely want to bend your knees and release the back. Don't hold the pose, especially something that's supposed to be a restorative pose, if there's any discomfort. So, bending the knees, feet on the floor. You're going to roll onto your right side so that your hip and your shoulder are level on the floor. And then once you've rested there with your spine in that neutral position, you can come up and be preparing for Shavasana. So Shavasana is lying flat on your back. It is done flat unless, of course, it catches your back and you need to have a bolster under the knees, then take a bolster under the knees. A blanket for underneath the head and the neck is great because it provides a little bit of softness for the head so that you can quieten the brain. Make sure the shoulders are off the support though, it's just for the head and the neck. Start with your knees bent. If you need to bend your elbows and scoop the flesh of the shoulders down the back, you do. Arms are slightly away from the body so that the sides of the chest is open. With the knees bent, firstly you get that cupping of the buttock flesh so that the back waist is released, but also there's that release of the abdomen. There's a chance for the abdomen to just quieten. Feel that the back of the neck is long, the throat is soft, skin of the face relaxed. Close the eyes, extend the legs one at a time. Flop the feet out by letting the thighs release completely. The thighs just roll from the inside to the outside. Let go from the hips right to the toes. Let go from the shoulders to the fingertips. Fingers are just curled, palm is soft. Each inhalation, you feel that rise of the chest and abdomen, and with each exhalation, as the chest empties, as the abdomen settles, just completely settle the back to the floor. Back of the neck is long, you're on the center back skull. Feel that there's a softness in the skin of the face, the skin of the whole body. As you exhale, release the muscles around the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth. Release the muscles of the whole body. Each inhalation, hold you present in this Shavasana state. With each exhalation, you just completely are letting go, surrendering more and more to Mother Earth. To come out of Shavasana very slowly, almost reluctantly. So before you move your body, let that breath just start to deepen. Each inhalation becoming a little bit fuller, a little bit more profound. Those inhalations are slowly bringing you back to full consciousness. One at a time, bring your hands to rest anywhere on your torso where it's comfortable. Elbows still stay on the floor, shoulders are still relaxed. Connect with your breath here. On an inhalation, stretch your arms over your head. Give your body a long, deep stretch. You can yawn or sigh the breath out. And then bending your knees, you're going to roll lazily onto your right side. Head is cradled in your right arm. The left side of the body is just holding you in this quiet Shavasana state for a moment longer. When you feel ready and the eyes start to want to open, you're going to press your left hand into the floor. Use it to help you to come up. Once you're up, come to any seated position that's comfortable for you. Close your eyes again to keep that internal focus for the last few moments of your practice. With the hands in the prayer position, the spine erect, the chest well open, taking each inhalation with a sense of gratitude. Take a moment here to give thanks for the health and strength of your body. And the next breath in, let the eyes gently flutter open and focus. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you for joining us. See you next time.